There are many great reasons as to why you should all move to Yellowknife, Northwest Territories in Canada, and we will be sharing a few with you in this presentation. Yellowknife is located in the Canadian Shield region, and the cityscape of Yellowknife features many high-rise buildings. Our favorite reason as to why you should all move to Yellowknife is the climate in Yellowknife is perfect, with summers that are not too hot and cold winters, but there is very little rain. This is good because it would be a nice change living somewhere where it doesn't rain as much as it does here. Yellowknife is located in the Canadian Shield region, and the cityscape of Yellowknife features many high-rise buildings. Our favorite reason as to why you should all move to Yellowknife is the climate in Yellowknife is perfect, with summers that are not too hot and cold winters, but there is very little rain. This is good because it would be a nice change living somewhere where it doesn't rain as much as it does here.
Our second favorite reason as to why you should all move to Yellowknife is there is so many different types of animal species that live there that many people have never seen before. These animals include woodland caribou, which is almost only ever seen in the Northwest Territories out of the entire world. Our third favorite reason as to why we think you should move to Yellowknife is the population in Yellowknife is very large. Even though it is a small city, there are about 20,000 people currently living in Yellowknife, and the city takes up about 47% of the Northwest Territories population. A large population is good because it creates many different career opportunities, entertainment, and resource options.
One economic activity to do in Yellowknife is gold or mineral mining. The housing prices in Yellowknife are a little bit less than average housing prices are where we live right now. An example of this is a fully finished 85 square meter home in Vancouver. It costs about an 85 square meter a condominium in Yellowknife will cost around. So it is not a huge difference in prices, but Yellowknife is a little bit cheaper of a place to live than Vancouver. One other good reason as to why you should all move to Yellowknife is since it is short of a small city, the crime rate tends to be very low.
The transportation in Yellowknife is a bit different than it is here because there are fewer roads and railways. There is also not as much marine transportation because Yellowknife is not near the ocean, but there's still a few types of marine transportation because Yellowknife is right next to Great Slave Lake. This is good because most people in Yellowknife travel by aviation, which is way safer than driving in. For example, a car, because there are way lesser chance of a plane crashing than a car. Finally, the last reason why we think that you should move to Yellowknife is they feature many different ways to connect with the North cultural heritage. You can learn about the history of Great Slave Lake and massive fur trade empire from the 19th century and more.
And these are all the reasons why we think you should all move to Yellowknife, Northwest Territories in Canada.